All right, here we go. Hey, what's up, guys? Drop here. I haven't been on YouTube for a very, very, very long time, but I recently started streaming some Star Citizen, and I thought it might be helpful to some of you out there because I've noticed sometimes when I go in, when I'm playing the game, a lot of people who have the Drake Caterpillar ship tend to have a lot of issues trying to figure out what is the best and most reliable trade route to make in-game currencies. So for this tutorial, this video, I am basically going to do a step-by-step workthrough of how you can maximize the efficiency of your cargo runs in your Drake Caterpillar. This only really applies to people who have that ship. If you have another transport ship, I mean, there's ways that you can maximize the efficiency of your cargo runs with that as well, but this tutorial is going to strictly stick to the Drake Caterpillar. So without further ado, here we go. Now, most of you are going to start off in Port Olisar, and you're going to wake up, you're going to go out to your ship, and after fresh patches, you're going to have 10,000 AUEC, which is the in-game currency, which is what you can use to purchase ships or purchase weapons or gear or mods or whatever you want to do. And to really enjoy the game, it's really important to have that currency to back you up, especially with bugs happening throughout the game, or if you happen to get blown up, or if somebody at PO crashes their ship into yours and you have to pull it back out, and you want to expedite your ship, otherwise you have to wait significantly long time to pull it out, then you're going to want that in-game currency to back you up. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to go from having 10,000 starting AUEC, which is the standard after every patch, and how you can make 1,000,000 AUEC in one day. The only issue is you have to make sure that you're committed. If you're not committed to sticking it out for the long haul, then you're not going to make as much money. You really have to stay committed, and that goes with anything, right? Like, you want to really succeed in the game, you have to stay committed. But it certainly helps to have the Caterpillar just because it's the most reliable transport ship in the game that's available right now. And a lot of you might end up purchasing it and want to use it. So to start off, you're going to wake up, you're going to have 10,000 AUEC, and in my opinion, this is the most efficient way. You're going to start off with coming to Levski. So Levski is a facility that's on a moon called Delamar, and Delamar is, when you're looking at the map, I think this is the standard right here. So when you look at the map, you're going to have Crusader on this side of the system, you're going to have Artcore on this side, you're going to have Hurston a little bit closer to the Stanton Sun, and over here on the left side, you're going to have Delamar. Delamar has the facility here, let me just zoom in there, called Levski. And Levski, the reason I say you should come here to start off is because you have to start somewhere. You can't have 1,000,000 AUEC without starting off with like a working capital of funds. Now, Levski has these personal missions when you go to your contract manager. These personal missions here that are worth 9,000 AUEC each. And what they're going to ask you to do is they're going to ask you to take these like little containers, and they're going to want you to transport them across the system to different locations. Now, you can take the general delivery missions if you like, because they pay, I guess, smaller amounts. But it won't take you as long to get your starting currency. You need a starting capital to work with in order to start making this happen. Now, these only pay about 4,000 AUEC each, but the personal ones, even though they're slightly riskier, pay 8,500 or 9,000. And I really like these because it's going to give you a much faster starting working capital to start doing your cargo runs. So to start, you want to start with deliveries that pay the highest. So what you're going to do is I usually take the ones that go to this place called the Orphanage. And so I'm going to accept that. And then you go back and you maybe pick up a second one. Maybe you try to get one that's going to the same location like this one here. So we're going to take 2 special orders, both of them. All right. And what that is going to allow you to do is when you're at the main customs area of Levski, you're going to go over to this container over here. And you're going to pick up those packages and you're going to deliver them. Now, one thing I like to do is you don't want to time out your ship because sometimes other players are flying in and need your landing spot. And if you don't get both packages in your ship on time, then they're going to take your ship away, and then you have to pull it back out again. So what I like to do is pick up your container and bring it all the way over here and just drop it real close. I like to put them right here. You're going to just hold F, left click place, and just put them on the ground next to the elevators. All right, so that's one package. You're going to go and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to grab the other package, and if you want, you can just go to your contract manager, to the accepted missions you have, and the one with the magnifying glass is the one that you're currently tracking. You can see it has the check mark that I've picked it up. You're going to click on the other one. You're going to track it, and then when you leave your Moby glass, you can see it there, pick up. So you're going to pick up those two packages. You're going to go out to your ship, and you're going to do those runs. And after you're finished those 2 runs, you're going to end up with a nice spicy... What's up, dude? You're going to end up with a nice spicy 28,000 currency. Okay? And that's okay, but that's still not quite enough that you want to be able to maximize the efficiency of the cargo runs we're going to do. So you might want to do this a few times. Essentially what you want is... What's up, dudes? Essentially what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to do a few cargo runs, and you're going to want to get up to... What do you want? Okay, and you're going to want to... You're going to want to end up with about... I don't know. I started my runs with about 40 to 50K, and that's like the bulk of the time that it's going to take you to make that small amount of currency, is just doing these deliveries until you have 40 to 50,000 AUEC saved up, and then you can start doing your cargo runs. So once you have that currency, 50,000 roughly, then what you're going to want to do is you're going to end up back here at Levski. You're going to pull out your ship, and I'm going to just see where mine is. Hangar 4. Alright, so after you've left Levski, I'll show you real quick the trade route that I like to take. So when you go to your star map, what I did is I left Delamar, and when you scroll out of Delamar just a little bit, you can see there's a rest stop right here called CRU L5. And what you want to do is you want to basically just boot on over to CRU L5. Oh, just make sure that the route is selected. And there it is. Alright, so it's 3.3 million kilometers away. And I know that a lot of people like to do the rest stop that's closest to Port Olisar and do the scrap runs between there. But the profit margin is roughly the same, and in my opinion, this is safer. The reason I say that it's safer is because there's a lot of people who like, when they see a caterpillar sitting on the pad at Port Olisar, they like to just crash into it. And if anybody, like landing pad crashes into your ship, then you've all of a sudden lost a majority of your capital. So to avoid that, I did CRUL5 to Levski, and that was the most reliable run I could think of that had the highest profit margin. So whenever you're doing cargo runs, there's a few variables you want to consider. You want to consider the time spent to do the run, the profit margins of the commodity that you're transporting, and then you also want to take into consideration the risk involved. Meaning, are other players going to mess with me there? Am I going to run into police? Is anyone going to interdict my ship? How much fuel am I using? You know, I mean, there's just a bunch of variables you have to consider. And in my opinion, this is the most reliable route. So you're going to take off, and you're going to leave Delamar. You're going to go to CRUL5, and you're going to pick up a scrap run. So we're here, and I'll just real quick. This can usually take a few minutes to get in, so I'm just going to speed up this portion of the video here real quick, and we'll meet you back when I arrive. Alright, now we've arrived at CRUL5. You're going to bring up your Moby Glass, go to your comlink, go to contacts, click on the little arrow for the station that we're at, and it's usually this hangar that they're going to open. Yeah, the closest one when you fly in, right at the center of that circular part of the ship, or I guess the station, and you just drop your landing gear in, enter slowly, nice and easy. These doors take usually a couple seconds before they're wide enough for your ship to fit, so just give them a second. You don't want to crash and then have to start all the way from Levski and start off fresh. So just take your time, be patient. And one more thing I'd like to suggest, whenever you're going into a landing bay like this, go in really, really slow. Usually I like to set it at about 15 or 20 on the speed dial. But once you're in, roughly, instead of landing yourself, I always use self-land, the automated landing, which is when you hold N on the keyboard. That's going to do a self-land, and it's always going to send to your ship on the pad nice and easy, and it's always going to be in the perfect position. Now, a lot of people out there are probably going to say, well, I'm a good pilot, I don't need to use the self-land or the auto-land, but honestly, like, even if your ship is off a little bit sometimes and it's just like maybe one side or wing or something is like touching a building or something on the pad, then it can glitch out, and it's just not usually a very reliable. Well, I mean, it can be reliable if you're in a smaller ship, but with the big Caterpillar, you want to be careful. So I just recommend using the self-land, the automated landing, just by holding N, and that way you don't ever have to worry about there being a glitch or a problem. Or I've had it happen where I tried to land the ship myself, and when I walked back out onto the pad, I just died, and I couldn't figure out why, so I had to figure out a way to get my ship out of the landing bay. But you're going to go into CRUL5, just head on over to the arrivals terminal here, and take the elevator down to the main lobby. Once you enter CRUL5, you're going to put your foot on that pylon like this guy did, and look all creepy and weird. All right, you're going to make your way over to the admin office, which is on the main floor. And you're going to see these two terminals on the right, trading and shipping. Just click on that bad boy. Select your ship on the left. Select scrap and fill it up. So say you had 40,000 AUEC. So you're just going to scroll it over to 40,000, which is going to fill you up at about 300, which is almost half of your ship's value of scrap. And scrap runs between CRUL5 and Levski are going to be, I believe, 30 to 35% profit. So you can expect to get a pretty good pay grade by doing this scrap run. And then the next time you come, you're going to spend maybe 45 or 50. And then the next time you show up, you're going to maybe do 60. And you're just going to do the back and forth runs, which take about 20 minutes each run until you've filled up your ship, which is 76,597 AUEC. And that should return you around 27,000 currency of the credits, in-game credits. So that's a full ship, 566 square cubic units or whatever that stands for. And that's, scrap. And that's going to fill it out. It's almost 76,500, and that's going to return you about, I think I was getting 26 or 27,000 in return. So that's really good. That's like well over 30% return. And you're just going to keep doing these runs and just keep bankrolling them. So if you think about it, you might maybe do 5 or 6 of these until you have like a good amount. And and keep in mind, if you ever experience a glitch in the game, don't spend all your currency. Go back and make sure that you're keeping some in your bank account, just because you want to utilize your capital as much as possible, but you don't want to lose it all in case something happens. So keep doing these runs for quite a while. It took me to go from 10,000 to roughly 1 million. It took me a full day. So like a very, very long time. This is definitely something you have to consider. You want to stay committed in, but you'll get there eventually, and you just got to make sure you're willing to put in the time. So once you max out your ship with scrap, you're going to fill up your ship completely, and you're going to keep doing these runs, making 27K each run. Keep going, keep going, keep going until you have like a really good amount of money. I think I kept doing these runs until I had about 200K or maybe 250,000, 250K. And then after I was finished up with these, I figured, you know what, I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to go to the next commodity. And now a lot of people are thinking, well, why not just sell Vice, right? You could sell Vice. You could come over here. You click on this is the hidden terminal. Not so hidden, but this is the no questions asked terminal, which will allow you to sell different vice. And the filter's not on there right now because I don't have any of my cargo, but you'll be able to sell Slam or Widow or Toxin, whatever the fuck that other stuff is called. And you can sell it all here. But I don't find that very efficient because the risk involved, obviously, if you get caught by the police and then even if you don't lose your cargo, other players will see you as a red triangle, and try and kill you, and you don't want to lose any of your stuff. So it's a little bit riskier, not to mention the terminal will usually only allow you to sell small amounts at a time, and then you have to sit here and wait 3 to 5 minutes before it'll reset, and then you can sell another small amount. And at the end of the day, it takes way too long, and it takes too much time to complete a transaction if you want to empty your ship, especially when you're hauling with a Caterpillar and it just is going to take you way too long. So once you've done these runs between this station and Levski, and you've been able to sell and buy and sell as many times as possible, then you have a much larger working capital that you can start doing bulk cargo runs with. Now, in my opinion, the next best delivery or next best cargo type is metal. And it's going to basically stay metal to the very end. So you're going to... Oh, I'm at the lobby already. I want to go to Hangar 2. So let's just say you finished a bunch of these runs. You maybe even took a day off or went and did some deliveries in the meantime with some friends. But you basically want to... you want to start doing metal runs. You're going to go across the system and you're going to spend some time at Hurston for a while, and we're going to go there now. So let's hop back in the ship and head on over to Hurston. Now for these long travel destinations, what a lot of people have noticed, especially in 3.7, as long as you're in a ship that allows you to leave the seat during quantum travel, it reduces the amount of interdictions that you'll encounter across the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to engage the quantum travel and then hit Y on my keyboard to leave my pilot seat. And that should prevent us from being interdicted by things like asteroids or space police. Let's try that out.
Quantum drive is now on.
There we go. All right, let's speed this up while we take this route and head on over to Hurston, okay? All right, so we're almost at Hurston, in Hurston space. So I just wanted to explain one more quick thing before we get there, is if you engage your quantum leap and leave your seat, do not get back into your seat until you've actually completed the quantum travel. The reason I say that is because some people have experienced a glitch or a problem where they re-enter their seat before the quantum is finished. And what ends up happening is they actually end up going back to where they started from as if they hadn't even completed the trip at all. And so just to avoid that, I recommend you complete your quantum travel before you get back in your seat. Okay, so now we've arrived at Hurston. This is a giant reddish colored planet across the system. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go to our map and we're going to zoom in to the Hurston space. This is Hurston space here. And the closest moon here is called Ariel. This is the moon you want to go to purchase the next commodity, which is going to be titanium. So you're going to click on Ariel, set route, and make your way over there. And as it did in this instance, it's going to make me probably go to an orbital marker or something first because we're on the wrong side of Hurston to make the travel directly. Here we go. Where is it? Where are we? I don't know where it is. Okay, so when you experience this glitch, see, you can see how like it's you want to make one short leap and then one long leap. What you want to do is try and just select something else and set your route and make sure that it pops up on your screen. You can see that green arrow popped up. So now we've selected a destination that we can quantum to. Now let's just go back and select the planet we actually want to go to and set the route. and it should give us, yep, there we are. It should give us our marker that we need to travel to. So let's go to the marker first, and then after we get to this marker, we're going to go to Ariel. Now, some of you might be asking the question, why not just keep doing scrap runs? I can make 30K. It seems like a lot at the time, which is fine and all, but after you've made a certain amount of working capital, you have to know what your next commodity is that you're going to be trading, and at what point do you have enough capital that it becomes most efficient. So in my opinion, having 200K is going to be the most efficient, because you're going to make more doing these runs than if you were to continue doing scrap runs. And the reason it's more efficient is because titanium takes up less space in your cargo hold than scrap does.
Quantum drive is now
So once you have 200K, you're going to make more in the time spent to do the run than if you had just continued to do scrap runs.
drive is now off.
And that's why it is the most efficient way to go at that point. Where is my planet I need to go to? Hello? There it is. Okay. So this is Ariel. Let's go there real quick. And it's a very short distance from there. It's about 50,000 kilometers. So we're just going to spool up our quantum drive and head over there. Very orange and very bright. Welcome to Ariel. We're going to zoom into Ariel now that we've arrived here. And you can see these two locations pop up, Bezdek and Lathan. You can go to either of these locations. I like to go to Bezdek, but you can choose Lathan if you want. You're going to select that as a travel point. Look around the planet for that sort of stop sign shaped figure, and then hit your quantum drive one more time. All right, so we've landed, so we can leave our pilot seat here by pressing Y, and let's go. All right, now we're on the landing pad, and we have these buildings here. So it's the first building on the right with the big spike on the roof kind of looking thing. That's the building you want to go to make your trading purchases. And a lot of people don't actually realize this, but most of these buildings, they have like a little name underneath it. Not Ryari, but the other one right below it says storage right there. So this building actually says mining control. And a lot of people go there because they think, oh, mining, this is what I want, I want materials. But no, you actually want storage, because you're not that's the mining of the facility. This is the storage where they keep the product. So you're going to go in, cycle your atmosphere, and go straight up to this shipping console and ignore that guy because he doesn't know anything. All right. So we're at the console, and we're going to click our location, which is our ship, Caterpillar, and we're going to click titanium. All right. Now, remember, we have about 200,000 right, saved up. Now, you can spend it all and then maximize your profit if you want, or you can spend half. That way, if something happens and your ship crashes, you don't lose it all. But let's just assume that you have a little bit of a pillow there and you're spending 200K. So let's buy 200K of AUEC, of titanium, and that's going to fill up our ship about halfway, 282 SCU, and our ship capacity is 566, which is actually almost exactly halfway. So we're going to purchase the titanium, click yes, got it, we're good to go. All right, so now we're going to leave, go back to our ship. And that right there is a perfect example of the visualization of how this is a much better run. We're going to make more money from this run, and our ship isn't even full. It's only half full. So you're already making more profit for the time spent for this run. So you're going to retract, go back up into your ship. I like to go the back way when my cargo hold is completely full, but I think at half full we should be able to go through the module. Yep, okay, so we can go through the module, go up this ladder instead. And then we're on the second level of our ship, and we can just go through to our center hallway to the cockpit on the right. That works too. Either way works. All right, let's enter our seat here. Now what I like to do is when I get back into my ship, I press F4 so I'm in the external view. I hit Z so that I can roll my camera. And then you can hit K on the keyboard, and what that's going to do is that's going to open up all of your doors and hatches on your ship so you can actually physically see all the cargo that we just purchased that's in the ship, right? Now, there's also the front hold there. Now, the ship, it looks like it's more than half full, but it's actually not because of this empty space in the front. So we've got a half full ship of titanium. We're just going to close everything back up by pressing K. And then we're going to hit F4. And then we're going to hit Z so that we can control the ship again. So let's take off, lift our landing gear, and just pretty well go straight up into the atmosphere because we want to leave the atmosphere as quickly as possible.
Hydrogen fuel is at 75%.
Oh, that's another thing. You want to refuel every once in a while. But for this run, you don't have to worry too much about that. So let's go straight up into the atmosphere as quickly as possible. We'll set our cruise control. Look at that. This is what I love about this game. It's just gorgeous. Beautiful. All right. Now let's go to our map. And what we're going to do is we're going to go straight to Hurston. So you click Hurston, set your route. It's right over there. You can see it. But we have to be at, I think, 20,000 feet before we can quantum travel off of Ariel. All right, so now we're at Hurston. We can zoom in, select Lorville, which is the capital, set route, and there it is, exactly on the opposite side of the planet.
Quantum drive is now
All right, welcome to Lorville. Now you're going to have, this is a planet that you're not going to be able to go very fast coming in, not like any other moons. So just set your speed to the maximum possible speed until you get close enough that you can call the landing pad, which I like to do at about 10 kilometers. And then you can request landing roughly somewheres around there. Hello. Goodbye. Alright, and most of us know where to go to the trains, so I don't really feel like I need to explain that. I'm sure we've all been to Lorville. Through customs, past the guards. Alright, now for most of us who have ever bought and sold products at Lorville, we usually will go to Metro Center, and what we'll do is we'll go to the admin office and we'll sell there. But in this case, we're selling metal, and it doesn't work at that location. So what you want to do is instead of taking the blue line to Metro Center, we're going to take the green line to Central Business District, which is CBD for short. Oh, and perfect, there's a train here. So we're going to hop on this train instead and go down to the Central Business District to sell our products from our Caterpillar. All right, now we've arrived at the Central Business District, which is this fancy golden granite combinated area here with these ginormous statues of some guy, Gavin E. Hurston, who I guess founded Hurston Dynamics or some shit like that. And they seemed it to be necessary that they needed multiple ginormous statues of the same dude. And we're going to go through the entrance, main area here, up the main golden staircase.
On behalf of Hurston Dynamics CEO.
And now we're in this ginormous area, which you don't know where to go to from here because I don't see any terminals. So what you're going to want to do is hang left till you see this sign here that says transfers. Transfers is where you want to go, not showcase or anywhere else. Just go on through this entrance to the, this is basically the Central Business District's trading area. So it kind of looks a little bit like Wall Street in here with the screens up and the numbers and lines and graphs and whatnot. And right here in the middle is these trading terminals, and these are the ones you want to use to sell metal. So you're going to go up to this console, click it, but instead of buying, we're selling. You're going to select your ship, which is half full of titanium. Click that, and you'll be able to sell it all at once. Now remember, we bought it for 200,000, but we're selling it for almost 251,000. So we've made roughly just over 50,000 credits from this run. Booyah. The nice thing about this way of doing trading is it's not illegal cargo, so it's very low risk. It's a short distance from Hurston to Ariel, 52,000 kilometers, and the shipping consoles allow you to trade all of your products in your ship in one place at one time. The really annoying thing about selling vice and illegals is even though they take up barely any space in your ship, it's high risk and it takes a very, very, very long time to unload your ship. This, in my opinion, is the most efficient way to maximize cargo runs in your Drake Caterpillar. So what you're going to do is you're going to have this profit, and you're going to hop back over to your Caterpillar, go right back up to Ariel, and then you're going to purchase a slight more amount of titanium, bring it back down here to the CBD, come down to this trading terminal, and sell it. And keep doing those runs. And if you enjoy cargo runs, it shouldn't be an issue, but keep doing those runs until you can afford to purchase 401,000 credits worth of titanium, which is a full ship. And then when you bring it back down here, you're going to make about 105,000 credits each run. And this whole run there and back takes roughly, I would say, between 30 to 40 minutes, depending on who you are and how you do the route, or depending on which side of the planet you're on. You don't have to do as many quantum leaps. Sometimes it's a little bit quicker, sometimes it's a little bit slower. But this way, you can make a very good amount of profit in a very short amount of time with the lowest risk possible. Once you have 401,000 and you purchase that amount, everything on top of that is pure profit. So you're making 100,000 each run, and you've already got your capital of 400. So you've only got 6 runs before you're at 1,000,000 credits. And this is where it becomes much faster to make the money. At the beginning, it's very slow. You have to do those stupid deliveries, and then you have to do the scrap runs, and that seems to take time. And because you have to do so many of them to come up with the capital to start doing titanium runs. But these bulk cargo commodity runs are by far the most efficient way to make currency in the game. So there you have it. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments down below. Feel free to check out my Twitch channel, dropzone_YYC_, and I usually stream this game every weekday for between 4 to 6 hours. You can hop on there and ask me questions about the game, different things like bug workarounds, like what should I buy and sell with this ship. But at the same time, I'm also going to recommend you check out a website called Gallog.co. It's GALLOG.co. I'll put the link down below, and you can check that out. And what that allows you to do is select your ship, select the commodity you want to trade, and it'll tell you the best place to buy and sell that commodity. It's a really, really easy website to use. You can keep it up on a second screen if you have it, or maybe on your cell phone, and so you can do quick kind of like checks on commodities and pricing, which is updated fairly frequently to see what you can trade or buy and sell in your particular ship. But this is how I went. I mean, keep in mind, you have to stay committed and you have to be willing to put in the time. But I went from 10 a.m. in the morning to about 8 p.m. at night, so about 10 hours with a few breaks for food and drinks and bathroom and whatever. And I was able to make about 1,000,000 credits that day just by doing these runs and just staying committed and staying on top of it. But there you have it. How to maximize the efficiency of your cargo runs in your Drake Caterpillar. I hope you enjoyed it. Cheers, everybody, and we'll see you on the next tutorial. I hope they come around a little bit sooner than later. Cheers, everyone.